Most people react the wrong way when faced with aggression, either by fighting back or by freezing in fear. But what if you could stay in control and even make the other person rethink their behavior? Instead of letting their aggression dictate the situation, you can turn it around in your favor. And the best part? You don't need to argue, shout, or feel intimidated. Welcome to my channel. Have you ever had to deal with an aggressive person? How did you react? Did you argue, ignore them, or walk away? Let me know in the comments. Today, you'll discover 6 powerful techniques that will not only help you handle aggressive people with confidence, but might even make them regret their behavior. Let's dive in. 1. Stay calm and control your voice. When someone is aggressive, our natural instinct is to match their intensity. But raising your voice or responding emotionally will only escalate the situation. Instead, lower your tone, slow down your speech, and maintain steady eye contact. Why does this work? Because aggression often thrives on reaction. When you don't react emotionally, the other person subconsciously starts questioning their own behavior. They expect anger in return, but when they get calmness, it disrupts their expectations and can make them back down. Try this next time someone raises their voice. Speak softer, slower, and with absolute calm. Watch how their aggression starts to fade. 2. The yes and technique. One of the worst mistakes in an argument is direct contradiction. If someone aggressively says, "You never listen to me," your instinct might be to defend yourself. "That's not true. I always listen to you." But this only makes them more defensive. Instead, use the yes and technique. Acknowledge their emotions without fully agreeing. You can say, "Yes, sometimes it might seem that way, and I really try to understand what you're saying." This does 2 things. It validates their feelings while subtly shifting the conversation toward a solution rather than a fight. 3. Use strategic silence. Have you ever noticed that aggressive people expect a reaction? They expect you to argue back, to get defensive, or to look away nervously. But what if you did something completely unexpected? What if you just stayed silent? When someone is yelling or being aggressive, try this. Look at them calmly. Say nothing. Let the silence hang in the air. This does 2 things. It forces them to reflect on their own words, and it makes them feel awkward. Many times, people will start backing down simply because they don't get the reaction they expected. Silence is a powerful tool. Use it wisely. 4. Repeat their words. Back to them. Aggressive people often exaggerate. They make broad statements that may not even be true. If someone angrily says, "You always interrupt me," don't argue. Instead, repeat their words back. "Always interrupt you?" Why does this work? Because it forces them to reflect. In many cases, they will pause and realize that their statement was an exaggeration. This simple technique can shift the conversation from confrontation to self-reflection. 5. Ask open-ended questions. Aggressive people often operate on emotion rather than logic. Instead of reacting emotionally, redirect their attention with an open-ended question. For example, if someone is upset and yelling, try saying, "I see that this really bothers you. What do you think would be the best way to solve it?" This does something very clever. It forces them to stop being aggressive and start thinking. When people engage their rational brain, they naturally become less emotional. This technique can turn an argument into a conversation. 6. Show empathy without submission. Sometimes, people just want to feel heard. But showing empathy doesn't mean giving in. You can acknowledge their frustration while still holding your boundaries. For example, say someone demands something unreasonable from you. Instead of saying, "No, I can't do that," try, "I understand that this upsets you and I wish I could help, but unfortunately, I can't do that." This way, they feel understood, but you still maintain your position. The final takeaway. Handling. Aggressive people isn't about overpowering them. It's about staying calm, confident, and in control. The moment you stop reacting emotionally and start using these techniques, you shift the power dynamic in your favor. So, how do you usually react when someone is aggressive? Do you argue, stay silent, or walk away? Let me know in the comments. And if you found these techniques helpful, don't forget to subscribe for more tips on handling difficult situations with confidence.